in this video I'm going to show you a couple of hints about using a CAS calculator to graph quadratics and find out information about quadratics. So let's start with the case of if you've got the quadratic equation y equals x squared plus 4x plus 2. Okay, so first thing you may want to know is what is the y-intercept. Obviously it's plus 2, but just for the sake of fun, like if your equation was something more difficult, I want to show you how to do that as well. So open up a computer page, a calculator page I should say, and first thing we're going to do is define our equation so that we can use it again and again for different things. So we're going to define, let's just call it the function f. It's with respect to the variable x, and it equals x squared plus 4x plus 2. And whoops, I've added in too many multiple. There we go. So it's been defined. So now to find the y-intercept, I know that that is when x is 0. So I want to find what value the function is when x is 0. There we go, it's 2. So no surprises. Our y-intercept is 2. So maybe I'll just note that down. Y-intercept. Sorry about the messy writing. Y-intercept is 2. Okay, so now let's see if we can tell us what the x-intercepts are. Let's do this in a few different ways. So first I'll start off with this calculator page way. And we're going to try and solve this function. So we're going to do some algebra. I'm going to solve it and ask it to find out when our equation equals 0. So for which values of x make y equal to 0. So a function of x. So we're saying when does our function of x equal 0, and now we've got to tell it, I want you to tell me which values of x, so tell me x, will our function be equal to 0? And that will be our x-intercepts. So there we go, it's just spat it out for us. The x-intercepts are minus root 2, because the minus is on the outside of the brackets, it's minus root 2 minus 2, or positive root 2 minus 2. So let's note those down as our x-intercepts. So we've got our minus 2 minus root 2, that's the first one. And the second one we've got is minus 2 plus root 2. There we go, there are our two values. Let's get our calculator to tell us the approximate value of those as well. Just note that down, 2 can be helpful. So we've got minus 3.41 approximately, or minus 0.59 approximately. So there are x-intercepts. So maybe I'll write that's the approximation is there. So these are the exact values at the top. They're the ones you would write down on your graph. And these are the approximate ones just so you know where they are in relation to all your other points. Okay, what else might we want to know? We might want to know the turning point. So there's a turning point way we're using a calculator page if we know calculus, but since at this point in the course we don't know calculus, we're not going to do that yet. I'm just going to show you instead how to do it using a graphs page. So let's graph our function. So we'll just tell it to graph our function, which is quite easy since we defined it earlier. There it is. So the one thing we haven't done yet is the turning point. So we'll analyze our graph, and it's a minimum point because you can see that it comes to a minimum. The lower bound, so something lower than the turning point over there, something higher over there. And there's our turning point, minus 2, minus 2. So let's record that down to turning point equals minus 2, minus 2. There we go. just for fun, let's confirm our x-intercepts using this graphical method. So we go menu, analyze the graph. Now we're finding the zeros. So there's one of them. And yes, you can see that negative 3.41 agrees with what we had on the calculator page. Let's find the other one. There you go, and you can see that that value there, 0.586, agrees with the value we had on our calculator page as well. So there we go. That's quadratics using a CAS calculator.